Hokage Puye here, guys. Real Madrid just finished their game up, first game of the La Liga season against Mallorca, and I'm sorry, Mallorca exposed Real Madrid. This is the issue with Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo. Mallorca, beautiful job. Beautiful. Initially I thought Mallorca was going to get lubricated in this game. I'm thinking 3-0, 4-1. But for stupid me, I forgot Mallorca was one of the best defenses in La Liga last season. And tonight, at their home, they exposed the issue. Although it may be an early on issue, they exposed the issue at Real Madrid right now, and they brought to light the issue with Rodrigo, Vini, and Mbappe. They brought the issue to light. I'm gonna show you guys something compelling I saw, something interesting I saw with the average player positioning, right? But yes, Mallorca ties Real Madrid 1-1. Great game for Mallorca. I think it was a game of two halves, really. It's a cliche, but it was a game of two halves. Real Madrid was dangerous looking in the first half. They were the better team. Second half, all Mallorca. Literally, Real Madrid was awful in the second half. Everyone looked slow. Everyone looked disinterested. Bad passes, bad touches. They looked uninventive. They looked lost of ideas. In Mallorca, they started the second half decently, but once they got that goal and they knew that at least a point was available to them, the defense on lock, low block, park the bus, and when attacking, getting 3 or 4 guys up there. And let's be honest, if we're going off, Mallorca should have had a second. Mallorca should probably leave this game with 3 points. That's how bad Real Madrid was in the second half. And I don't know, I don't know why Real Madrid was so flat in the second half. I don't know why Rudiger and Militao looked like they were half asleep and drunk. They looked like 2 drunk uncles at the function, you know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't have an explanation for that. I thought Mendy was fine. Carvajal was fine. I don't have any explanation for Bellingham sideways passing. The only thing Bellingham really did in the second half was a couple tackles, a couple slide tackles. That's all Bellingham really did. Mbappe and Vini couldn't get past their defender, completely shut out the game. Rodrigo disappeared. I think the best player for Real Madrid, to be honest, was Modric when he came on. And the issues I have with Real Madrid are fine. They're valid, but something I like about Real Madrid, I think Luka Modric is the best super sub, the best midfield super sub in the world. Having this guy come off the bench and letting him have 25, 30 minutes max a game, dude, he's insane because every time he comes in off the bench for Real Madrid, he provides energy into the game. He provides something new into the game. And if you go back to Real Madrid's season last year against Man City, when Luka Modric came off the bench for Toni Kroos, he was freaking amazing against Manchester City. So Luka Modric off the bench, wow, but Real Madrid overall second half, completely, I'm going to keep it real, completely dog shit. Real Madrid was completely off the pace. Now, that's, the only excuse I have for them is, okay, they traveled, they had the Super Cup game on Wednesday or Thursday, was it? They had to go to Warsaw, come back to Spain. I get it, but I'm sorry. When we're talking about great teams, that's not an excuse for me, traveling and all that crap. Well, if this is the great Real Madrid, the great almighty Real Madrid, Los Blancos, that shouldn't be an issue because tell me why Bayern, tell me why Man City, tell me why Manchester United, tell me why Barcelona have been able to go on and win 5-6 trophies within a year, regardless of travel. Traveling here, traveling there for the Super Cup, whatever. They got it done. So Real Madrid, no excuse for that. For me, that's not really an excuse. The only excuse is the heat, but really, for Real Madrid, these are child play excuses. These are children's excuses. These aren't valid for Real Madrid. So for the second half, awful. And let's get to the issue. I'm going to pull something up here. Let me just pull something up real quick. Sharing screen takes like 5 clicks, but hang in with me here, right? Hang in with me. Let me see. Are you guys looking at it? Perfect. This is the average position for Real Madrid, the starting 11. I'm going to show you something interesting when Carlo made the substitutions. But here, starting 11, this is the average position throughout the game. Look at this. 7 and 9. Mbappe and Vini Jr. literally holding hands on average position. Literally butt buddies. No striker presence. Look at Rodrigo out here on the left. He's a you guys, he's a right-sided player. For his average position to be so central, that shows you how often Rodrigo was occupying the left side of the space, left side of the field. So really, guys, when Real Madrid was in possession, 50-60% of the time, it was Rodrigo, Vini Jr., and Mbappe, performing a human centipede on the left side of the field. It was. They were holding hands the whole time, occupying each other's spaces. And I'm sorry. I understand that they're fantastic players and they could provide so much danger together, but that is an issue. And Mallorca exposed that because Mallorca, all they had to do when all three of them were that side was to focus on them, make sure two defenders here were checking their shoulders for runs in, and they were golden. All they had to do was focus on what Mbappe, Bellingham, Vinny, and Rodrigo were doing with the ball at their feet. It really wasn't that hard to defend when all three of them were on one side. It wasn't. Yes, I know Real Madrid got a goal that way, beautiful goal from Rodrigo. But that was Real Madrid punishing Mallorca for giving Rodrigo that half a second of space, half a second chance to shoot like that, because that's how good these players are. But when all three of these guys were on the left side, it was actually relatively easy for Mallorca to shut them out of the game and completely stop their attacks. And I think you saw that in the second half. In the second half, it wasn't working. These guys got frustrated. They were off the pace, and they had a horrible second half performance overall. Now, I want to show you something. And the issue with this is because where is the right-sided presence? It's cool to have so much quality going down one flank, but at one point you need to threaten on the other side. How often Real Madrid threaten in this game on the right side? Zero. They had zero threat from the right side. Now look at these substitutions. When Carlo Ancelotti made the subs, look at this. Now it's all shifted to the right side of the field. Why? Because Carlo Ancelotti realized that, okay, these guys are locking us down the left side. Mbappe and Vinny and Rodrigo are all occupying the same spaces. I need to get players in to now overload on the right side and try to catch out Mallorca, because they've been focused on defending Real Madrid's left flank. Let's overload on the right flank. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, because when these subs came in, Real Madrid was mainly creating openings and spaces to cross, or potential chances were from the right side of the field. So this is interesting, guys. And this is a dilemma for Real Madrid, because as good as it is to have Vini, Mbappe, Rodrigo, I'm sorry, in the Champions League, this is no. I am confident that in the Champions League, Man City, Atletico Madrid, Bayern, I'd throw Arsenal into their PSG. This ain't working against them. I'm sorry, this isn't going to work against them. And trying to quickly substitute and do this whenever this front three fails, this is not the solution, because you saw Mallorca had an easy time shifting focus to the right side of the field. So Carlo Ancelotti and all these players and his coaches, his staff, have a lot to think about, because this average positioning, this isn't it for Real Madrid. This isn't going to work all the time. It will work. You guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this worked 60% of the time of the season, because that's how good these players are. But against a well-drilled defense like Mallorca's, this showed that it's not going to work. And I understand this is only the first La Liga game, but if Mallorca can do this, because you guys, this is Mallorca's first La Liga game. So it is Real Madrid's first, and there'll be more time to go. But Mallorca, this is their first game too. So no excuses. This is not a good sign for me. If I'm a Real Madrid fan, I'm worried. And if I'm a Real Madrid fan, I'm hoping Carlo Ancelotti has a solution to this, because what I'm thinking now is you can't start Mbappe, Vini Jr., and Rodrigo all at the same time. I'm thinking that midway through the season, I'm thinking Arda Güler can potentially replace Rodrigo on the right side. I'm thinking Valverde could play on the right. I'm thinking Valverde could potentially get some starts at the right to provide balance to this attack, because this was a highly unbalanced attack, so left-sided for Real Madrid. But credit to Mallorca, man. Mallorca defended brilliantly. They made some mistakes here and there. Real Madrid got some half chances, but overall, throughout the whole game, Real Madrid had one chance, and that was the Rodrigo chance. They didn't create much else. They didn't create much. We're like, oh my God, that should have been a goal. If anything, Mallorca created more chances where I'm thinking that should have been a goal. So lots to think about if you're a Real Madrid fan. Ancelotti, lots to think about when you go to bed tonight. Listen, it's the first game of the season. We have to see how this evolves. But I'm sorry, this was Mallorca's first game of the season. They're a well-drilled defense, and they were able to handle them pretty easily. It took some hard work and sure, a lot of focus, but this is a blueprint, guys. If this is the front three they want to go through, this is a blueprint. I'm sorry. So lots to think about if you're a Real Madrid fan. If you're watching, man, let me know, because I want to know. Surely, with so much attacking focused on the left side, this can't work for Real Madrid in the long term. It surely can't. Maybe it's going to take Mbappe to learn how to play more centrally or anything, but I'm sorry. When I was watching this game, weirdly, I'm thinking when they were making the substitutions, I'm thinking they miss Joselu. Real Madrid is missing Joselu because something you definitely don't get from this Mbappe, Vini Jr., Rodrigo front three is an aerial threat, in the box, and just a presence, a fox in the box person. Vinny, Mbappe, and Rodrigo are not Rodrigo. They are not fox in the box players. They are not someone. They are not target men. And I'm thinking, I was sitting here watching the game. I'm like, these guys miss Joselu. These guys miss Joselu, and Joselu came and got his Champions League. Now he's in the Middle East making some money. So Real Madrid, lots to think about. I will say this about the left side of attack before I end this video. Something I saw that can be exploited very well with guys like Camavinga and Ernesto Valverde is I saw a lot of times when Mbappe and Vini Jr. and maybe and a lot of times Rodrigo were on the left side and the crossing opportunity was there. You guys, so much focus was on those players that the whole entire middle space was wide open for Ernesto Valverde late run into the box, and Camavinga late run into the box, and Carvajal late run into the box. So yes, there's a lot of issues right now with the loaded attack on the left side, but there are potential solutions and some advantages to doing that. Open spaces on the right side, catching teams off guard. Valverde, Carvajal, Camavinga, Tchouaméni running into the back post. So it's not all bad. It's not all bad, but the main issue lies that it's too left-sided, and Ancelotti and the Real Madrid coaching staff have a lot to think about. So La Liga's back, guys. It's cool. It's been Okage Puya. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.